This was a story that I was going to actually not talk about because really it wasn't on my radar, but I don't know why I didn't uh use the molecular fortitude that God gave me in order to talk about this considering the subject matter. It took for one of my subscribers to remind me under a post where they said, Torian, did you hear about how MAGA is upset at Tom Hanks at his SNL skit for their 50th anniversary? And I said, I heard about it and whatnot. I didn't even see it, but I can just about guess the backlash that they were very upset about. So, in case y'all are unaware, Saturday Night Live had their 50th anniversary this past Sunday, which, by the way, I'm recording this video on February 19, 2025. By the time y'all see it, it'll be a couple weeks later. And by the time y'all see this, y'all probably would have already heard about it. And which they had a segment on, a skit on there called Black Jeopardy. And the host is Kenan Thompson. He's basically the Alex Trebek of the show. And then they had other characters. I think Eddie Murphy was up there, and I forgot who the next person was. I think it might have been Tracy Morgan. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. But one of the other contestants up there was Tom Hanks, where he played basically a hillbilly who was a MAGA supporter. I mean, they had, as you can see by the picture, they had him dressed up with a jean jacket, white shirt. He had the Make America Great Again hat on, and he was up there doing his thing. Now, mind you, this is not the first time they did this skit. If y'all remember, back during Trump's first term, they also did this same exact skit, but it was with different people. So it was basically them updating it for their 50th anniversary special. So they did the skit, and of course, the usual suspects got upset. But before we actually get into that, this was actually one of SNL's funnier skits, and I'm not a big fan of SNL. As a matter of fact, I think the Black Jeopardy is probably one of their best skits that they do. I remember the one they had with Chadwick Boseman before he had passed, when he was doing it was a promotion for Black Panther, and that's when he was up there playing his T'Challa character, and the answers he was given were very hilarious. But thanks to that skit, that's how we got introduced to the raisins in the potato salad thing. If y'all didn't know, the whole raisins in the potato salad thing being brought to the cookout by a woman named Karen, that came from, or was birthed out of, that skit. That's where that originated at, was right there. So shout out to the writers of SNL and Chadwick Boseman for delivering that little piece of, I guess you could say, history to us. But back to Tom Hanks and MAGA being upset. Man, they were hot. I'm talking about 400 degrees levels of heated about this. So we're going to go ahead and read this article from Yahoo Entertainment and see what they're talking about. Tom Hanks has come under fire for what conservative viewers call a, quote, racist and disgusting portrayal of a MAGA supporter on Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary special. The Hollywood legend caused quite a stir when he brazenly walked out of the comedy show's 50th anniversary concert with his wife Rita Wilson after host Jimmy Fallon announced that no awards would be given out. Tom Hanks also delivered an in memoriam semi-tribute to characters and sketches that have aged horribly on that show. MAGA fans have slammed Hanks for portraying a Trump supporter as a racist during a skit on Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary special. Now, here's the crazy part, and this is something that I didn't know when I was going to say this, but I said, you know what? Now would be the perfect time to say it. PC, in particular, are hypocrites when they want to talk about not making everything about race and just talking about racism in general, considering they come from the lineage of a group of people that created the social construct of race and who to place on that racial hierarchy since the inception. And to think that it's gone away, or to think, let's put it this way, they only address it when they feel like it's being used against them, when it's actually really not. Even when they feel like something is used against them, they're still benefiting in some type of way, but they want all the benefits. See, it's fine to call out racism on their end when they are the ones that feel like they are being hurt by it, but when everyone else, specifically Black people, Black Americans down even more particular, then we're told we're divisive, we need to get over it, race isn't a thing, white supremacy doesn't exist anymore. For some of them, white supremacy never existed, and so on and so forth. And this is why when they talk about race or racism from their perspective, it comes off very hypocritical every single time. But let's get back into the article. NBC brought back some of its best sketches for the Golden Jubilee of the comedy show, amongst which was Black Jeopardy, featuring Leslie Jones, Tracy Morgan, Eddie Murphy, and Tom Hanks. The Forrest Gump actor reprised his role as his character as Doug, a clueless rube wearing a Make America Great Again hat and an American Eagle shirt. And surprisingly, he performs well on the mock game show. Hanks first starred as Doug in 2016 when he depicted both the differences and similarities between Trump voters and black culture. In the new version, Doug refuses to shake hands with Kenan Thompson's character, Darnell Hayes, before reluctantly agreeing. The scene, intended to be satirical, sparked strong reactions from Trump supporters on social media. Many MAGA supporters took to social media to share their reaction to Hanks' reprisal as Doug, arguing it as the character has become an outdated stereotype as Trump has since won over a diverse electorate and secured the popular vote. Are they kidding me right now? Just because Trump got more, I guess you could say, we'll just say more black people this time to vote for him, does not mean that the landscape has changed, especially amongst these supporters. We've seen how they act. They're not going to change. And you know what? Look at how many of them act on Twitter, the platform that Elon Musk owns, and hopefully not for too much longer. And you can see right there. And like, what do they always say? A hit dog will indeed holler. And these dogs are barking pretty loud. One is quoted as saying, "This show wonders why their ratings are in the gutter." Former Robert F. Kennedy Jr. aide Link Lauren wrote on Twitter, "Trump won the popular vote. This tired trope that MAGA is racist is disgusting. SNL is an unfunny show for snobbish liberal elites." Another Twitter user wrote, "SNL's desperate attempt to smear Trump supporters as racist is tired and pathetic. Maybe if they focused on being funny instead of pushing an agenda, they wouldn't be taking in ratings." That's funny coming from them talking about pushing certain agendas because, well, you know. More Twitter users called out Hanks, claiming the actor's sketch looked forced and awkward due to him using old material. Someone wrote, "The hilarious handshake recoil had already been done in Tom's first MAGA sketch, which Tom actually improvised, which unfortunately made this one feel forced and awkward. Wish they had given Tom new material to set up a different racist reaction that wasn't a repeat of the first sketch. Almost felt like Kenan and Tom were set up for failure." They added, "Maybe the pressure of SNL 50 made most of the sketches fall a bit flat. Also, I wish they had done a Please Don't Destroy as well as Jimmy Glick video segments." Another user said, "I used to have so much respect for Tom Hanks as an actor. Now I can't bear to watch any of his movies, even from the 80s. And they talk about us being sensitive. That's the crazy part. And I think they just talked about maybe recently about them not being to stop about people being sensitive. What are they doing right now? What are they being right now? Oh, that's right, sensitive. Again, more hypocrisy. They also go on to say, "I just cannot accept how he can disrespect half the country. Tom, you should have stayed neutral and just entertained because you established yourself as an entertainer." Do you think Tom Hanks gives a damn? He probably had so much fun up there just like everybody else. They paid him his money and he went home. He doesn't care. Y'all aren't funding him. Y'all didn't pay him enough money to not do it, so they paid him enough money to come back and do it again. Hanks left many guests puzzled after he and his wife Rita Wilson hilariously stormed out of the SNL 50 concert on Friday at the iconic Radio City Music Hall. In a video posted by Deadline, host Jimmy Fallon shared a disclaimer that no awards would be handed out during the night, but the PSA seemingly didn't sit well with the couple. "Apparently there's been some confusion," Fallon said in the clip. "This is just a concert. We are not giving out any awards tonight, so I just want to make sure that everyone knows that." Just then, the camera panned towards Hank and Wilson as they stood up and began to exit the theater in a brazen manner. Wilson was also seen jokingly shaking her finger towards Fallon as she held hands with her husband. The talk show host then turned around and tried to call out to them, leaving the live audience in stitches with what appeared to be a planned skit. "Tom, Rita?" Fallon called out with a puzzled look. "We lost Tom Hanks and Rita. Sorry, it wasn't their fault." And the rest of it goes on to about Tom Hanks reflecting on his first time hosting SNL back in like the early 90s. And that's pretty much it. So I don't have to read more into that. But yeah, hey, it is what it is. they, like I said, they always like to say we are so sensitive, we need to get out of our feelings, you know, we need to get over it, and this, that, and third. Well, here I am telling them the same thing they tell us: get over your feelings, cope and endure. It is what it is. And then, you know, it was some other people that, you know, went out there and said something. I think they said Megan Kelly, of course, because, you know, she's like the siren, got out there on her horn and said something. And there was some other people that said anything too. But you know what? Something else is going to occur, and they're going to forget about this, and then they're going to move on to something else to whine, complain, and bitch about.